everyone, how's it going? So in case you're new here, my name is Atousa, I'm a research scientist and soon to be medical student, but I also have a really big passion about art. So I'm here today because I want to put together a series, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. There is a goal that I have, there's this thing that I want to achieve, and I haven't really spoken about it before, like on this channel or just in real life, because I think when it comes to arty things, there's always a part of me that thinks, are you even good enough? Like, how could you even do that? Like, where are you going to start? So today I have sort of decided to quieten all of those thoughts and create this series in order to document my journey towards that goal. And I'll tell you what that goal is in a minute, but if you are already familiar with my channel, you know that I have got a series called Medicine Diaries. And essentially that series is me documenting my journey from deciding when I wanted to study medicine to actually getting into medical school 2 years later. I've documented bits from work experience to doing admissions tests to doing the actual application and to finally getting an interview and actually getting accepted. And that series was personally really, I guess, cathartic and therapeutic for me because I got to document my ups and downs, you know, my successes and my failures, and it really helped me, I think, to get me to where I wanted. And I thought I would love to do the same thing with this. So I guess what exactly is this goal, this thing that I want to achieve? Basically, and I don't know where this has come from, but it's definitely in like my top 5 or top 10 things to one day be able to create artwork that can be displayed in hospitals or clinics or GP surgeries that can make patients feel calm and feel more at ease, or I don't know, just give them something interesting to look at, especially if they are in that sort of like anxious medical setting. I'm such a firm believer that art can make such a huge difference, and as somebody who's about to, I guess, embark on that medical journey and become a doctor in however many years, I would absolutely love to be able to create things that can be displayed to have that sort of calming effect, and as I said, even if it's just for patients to enjoy. But obviously I have a very long way to go because art isn't my profession. I'm just a hobbyist and I have so many things to work on. I've got so many skills to develop, and you know, I want to make this video series and document all of that. But obviously I have a really long way to go in terms of improving my skills and learning certain techniques, as well as developing my own style and building up a collection. So I really hope that this series can be a documentation of me working towards this goal that honestly means a lot to me. On another similar note though, I do want to tell you guys a story that involves palliative care, which is end-of-life care, and Mark Rothko, that controversial artist who makes painting like this. You know, some people love him, some people just think it's colourful squares and that his paintings should definitely not sell for the amounts that they do actually sell for. I don't know, personally, I like it. Anyway, the story that I'm about to tell you had a really big, I guess, profound impact on me, and it'll make sense in a minute. So, I've spoken about this on my channel before, but about a year ago, my uncle actually passed away from a type of aggressive brain cancer called glioblastoma. But right around the end of life stage that he was going through, I remember thinking that I want to read a little bit more about palliative care and what it's like. Not only in terms of what the patient goes through and what the family goes through, but in terms of how do the medical professionals function in that specialty, because it's such a, I guess, difficult and emotionally charged field. And then I came across a podcast by Tim Ferriss, who I love, just separate from this story by the way, but by Tim Ferriss, who was interviewing somebody called Dr. Miller, a palliative care doctor who himself had a near-death experience when he was in his 20s, which essentially led to him losing 3 of his limbs. But you know, regardless of this horrific accident, he still went on to finish his degree and become a really successful doctor. And you might have even heard his name before because he has given a really popular TED Talk. And I will link that below, so definitely go and watch it if you're interested in that kind of thing. Now, one of the things that Dr. Miller talked about in this podcast was that he has set up his own hospice because he has this vision of helping people die better in an environment where they feel more safe and they're surrounded by love and their family and comfort, as opposed to, you know, the busy hospital wards. And I guess to go along with that, one of the most important roles of the palliative care team is to help patients with the psychological aspect, help them come to terms with their condition, help them come to terms with their end of life. And as I said, this is something that involves a lot of, I guess, psychological intervention, be it through, like, I guess, talking to a therapist. But something that was interesting that Tim Ferriss asked Dr. Miller was, what would you do to help patients that don't want to talk, who don't want to open up, who don't want to engage in these long discussions? Because, you know, everybody's different, not everybody would benefit from that. And I found his answer so interesting. He said that he would give his patients artwork by Mark Rothko just to appreciate the beauty in purposelessness. And in fact, hold on, I've got a book. So after listening to that podcast myself, I went out and I bought myself a book of Mark Rothko paintings. And as you can see, people aren't necessarily wrong when they say they don't really understand his artwork, or they don't see how something that seems so simple and pointless could be worth so much. But in that podcast, and also in general, I guess Dr. Miller talks about how we as people have this need to want to make sense of things. We want to give meaning to everything. And in our head, things make more sense if there are purposes and there are reasons for why certain things happen and don't happen. And especially near the end of life, a lot of patients try to make sense of their life and think maybe this was for a greater reason, or maybe this was my destiny, or maybe I could have done something different to avoid this, and all of those plethora of thoughts and questions. But what Dr. Miller really emphasizes in his talks is that, you know, you don't have to make sense of things for you to be able to enjoy them. You don't have to give a reason to something in order for you to accept and understand and make peace with it. He uses the example of a snowball, something that I guess inherently doesn't have a purpose, but in the moment it can give people so much joy and make them happy and make them feel alive. And I guess to directly quote him here, he emphasizes the fact that we could all benefit from letting ourselves delight in things that don't have any meaning. And I love that. I don't know why, when I listened to that for the first time, it just had such a profound impact on me, and obviously enough for me to go and buy this book. And yeah, I don't know, that really struck a chord with me. And I think there was a part of me that kind of thought, you know, wouldn't it be amazing if you got to create that art for people to enjoy in those moments, if you like. And I do see the irony of the situation, that this is something I'm making my purpose, and to create this art is something that I'm taking on as being meaningful. And honestly, I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with that. But I guess what I'm telling myself through this series is that I just want to enjoy it. And if I happen to make things that other people can enjoy too, and maybe can go on and be displayed in the hospitals or GP clinics or medical settings, then fantastic. But if not, I know that creating art like literally temporarily removes me from the planet, and I get so engrossed in what I'm doing, and if nothing else comes of it, then I know I would have had the joy of doing that anyway. I don't know if anything that I've said resonates with any of you guys at all, but if it does, then let me know in the comments. Have you experienced something similar? Do you have any thoughts that I guess add to what I've just been talking about, or do you disagree? In any case, leave your thoughts below because I'd love to hear from you. For reasons that are completely unbeknown to me, I am so fascinated with these sort of like philosophical thoughts and questions, and especially how we could apply them in a medical setting to hopefully improve the lives of patients and the staff members, and I guess the way we look after patients in general. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, then please do share them in the comments below. And you know what? I actually wanted to show you guys some recent pieces of art that I've made. Look, I've even like displayed it all out here because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna show them some of the stuff that I've been like recently working on. But to be honest, I feel like this video took a bit of a deeper turn. So perhaps I can just wrap it up here and we can leave all of the art show and tell for the next episode. So subscribe if you would like to come on the journey, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope you're all doing amazingly, and until next time, take care and I will see you later.